guys, Amber Jones here, and I wanted to share with you a quick video on how to get people to show up to your events, how to get people to show up to your radio shows, to tune into your radio shows, to show up at your dinner events, or to show up at your workshops. It's a very delicate process, and I want to give you some tips of things that you can do to make sure that people actually show up to your events. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you give them enough time to know about your event. Let them know about your event, right? Don't only post flyers in your office about your event and expect people to show up. That's definitely a great start, but you want to exponentially get your information out to as many patients, as many people as possible. So what you're going to want to do, and this is what I typically do, is in marketing there's what's called a rule of 7. Okay, rule of 7. What that means is that it takes an average of 7 exposures to convert someone to take an action or to move them to a next step. So what does that mean in regards to having your event? You need to constantly remind or tell them about your event from anywhere between 5 and 7 times. And it might sound extreme, but it really isn't when you put it in perspective. Let me give you an example. When I run a campaign for a dinner, for a chiropractor, like a dinner with a doc campaign, here's definitely what I recommend. I recommend at least 3 emails, okay? 3 emails that goes out to your patients, okay? Number 1 is an email that lets them know that, hey, you're invited. You're invited to this event and you're invited to bring guests. So that's one email that I send. You also want to send at least 2 follow-up reminders for the event, okay? And in every email, you want to prompt them to call you to actually make that reservation, okay? So remember that you want to get them to the next step of the process. And so the next step is, 1, I want you to open my email. 2, I want you to confirm that you are coming. I need you to call and confirm that you are coming. And then the 3rd step is we're going to remind them of the event. And that's what those other 2 emails are for. You want an email to go out either between 1 to 3 days before the event, and you also want an email to go out the day of the event as a reminder. Okay, so that's 3 touches right there of the 7 that we spoke of. Not so difficult, right? Now, to do this effectively, you want to make sure that you have some kind of way to automate these emails to go to your people. And I use a email autoresponder, and you want to make sure that you set them up according to the date of your event, okay? The next thing that you can do is, that I always recommend, is to also send a text message. I like to send at least 2 text messages, sometimes 3. You want to send a text message the day before the event and the day of the event, okay? So now that's 5 touches that we've done, okay? And lastly, you want to add that human element of actually picking up the call. For those that haven't confirmed, maybe call and see if they want to come. And for those that have RSVP'd for your event, you want to reconfirm again, like the day before, or the day of. I definitely recommend at least the day before. So now we're at 6 exposures, okay? This is what it's going to take to get people to your event. And don't think that you're bothering them. You might say, oh, well, that's too much. No, the fact of the matter is you're not bothering them too much, because life happens. If you tell them about an event that's 10 days away, they might forget. But they might really want to come, or maybe they have that loved one that they really want to take. You want to allow them time and opportunity and just stay top of mind for your event to these people. So that's definitely what I recommend. You want to touch them 5 to 7 times, and you want to touch them in 2 to 3 different ways. So the ways that I covered, just a quick review, is 3 emails before, at least, okay? Email number 1 is the initial "you're invited" email. Email number 2 is the day before email. And email number 3 is going to be the day of reminder email, okay? You want to send out at least 2 text messages that, again, your invited email and the text message the day of or the day before, to let them know and remind them as well. And lastly, you want to actually pick up the phone and call them. You want to try to get that human connection to make sure that they're actually there. Um, that's my tips on how to get people to show up to any event. If you follow this method for, if you do webinars, if you do radio shows, if you do screenings, if you do dinners, this is what it's going to take to get people to show up to your events. And in some of the studies that I've done with some of my partners, they've gotten up to a 70% show rate when they've followed this process. Hope you enjoyed this video. As always, if you need help getting something like this set up for your office, let me know. I'd be more than happy to be of assistance to you. Thanks so much, and I'll see you on the next video.